Even a blind man can see what we are all seeing, and yet you're trying to gaslight us into pretending like it's just all regular and that we are the bad guys. That is the truth. The truth does hurt, and people want to know who killed Charlie Kirk.
It's like a radiant beacon on a hill, drawing you close and holds you still. Carried by gentle warriors, clothed in God's will. Shadows try to hide the beams, but it shines bright for all who see. Truth can't be put out, silence trampled by violence. It's a roaring flame, proclaims can't be restrained, won't bend a knee, sets the captives free. Right here alive, yeah, you and me. Day, dreaming their dreams, walk in their faith. Fearless of sharing Jesus' ways, paving the way. Sacrifice is not forgotten, but your light spreads love, still living. Truth can't be put out, silence trampled by violence. It's a roaring flame, proclaims can't be restrained, won't bend a knee, sets the captives free. Right here alive, yeah, you and me. True, yeah, true. We share Jesus, the truth, the way, the life. Risen cannot be denied. Yes, the truth, the way, the life. Risen cannot be denied. Truth can't be put out, silence trampled by violence. It's a roaring flame, proclaims can't be restrained, won't bend a knee, sets the captives free. Right here alive, yeah, you and me. True, yeah, true. Truth can't be put out, silence trampled by violence. It's a roaring flame, proclaims can't be restrained, won't bend a knee, sets the captives free.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to say that one first and foremost. Congratulations, Canada. A little bit of a ray of sunshine in today's proceedings that happened in Ottawa. I want to bring this up because working on a story, I felt that after today's outcome within the appeals courts with Justice Mosley's decision being upheld, now we're going to show you that right away. I wanted you guys to know that the story that intertwines exactly with what my story entails. So first and foremost, I want to bring this up to everybody. Congratulations to all those who fought long and hard in this. Ottawa, the Federal Court of Appeal has ruled that it was unreasonable, as it says here, unreasonable for the Liberal government to use the Emergencies Act 4 years ago to quell protesters in the national capital and at key border points. Unreasonable is just CTV's way to sugarcoat it to make it look like it is unreasonable. Ladies and gentlemen, it was actually unjustified. And not only was it unjustified, it never met the threshold. But you know what's not justified? You know what's really not justified? Is when good, hard-working citizens, law enforcement officers try to do their friggin' job and try to bring out the the reasons behind things that happen, and they get tarnished and they get kicked to the side. We had law enforcement officer by the name of Helen Grus, if anybody knows who she is. Helen was a key player in a case where in Ottawa, many newborn children were passing away in the early onsets, and it was pushed into, she was working in a division that investigated things that didn't look right within the SIDS clarification, sudden infant death syndrome. So one of Helen's duties was to rule out possible things that were going wrong. And you're going to see as I go through this investigative report on why does the justification or the ruling of Justice Mosley and his ruling to hold up in court and it being so significant to this case. And I want you to pay attention to this really closely as I go through this. Understand that these people were trying to stave off these events and these reasonings while being, shot in the arm with a chemical injection or an mRNA gene altering therapy. There was reasons behind that, and good, hardworking law enforcement officers were trying to get to the root of these causes. Now, Helen Grus has gone through the ringer within her own department, has gone through many things that is absolutely unfair for what she's going through. And I want to bring up some points to this because, you see, when Helen was going through this, there was speculation that Helen was in some way, some shape, some form, putting out evidence into the public and going about seeking information on these mothers' vaccine status. And that wasn't even the case. But you see, Ottawa Police Services intentionally disrupted her ways of being able to do her investigation. Not only that, they misled the mother into believing that Detective Grus had accessed her private medical information, which was absolutely a lie. But one of the things that was brought up in all of this, and I'm going to bring up the article here for you. Give me 2 seconds, because obviously this thing gets to be, I've got a bunch of windows open and I want to show you this one. All right, so according to the news article, so these are my sources, ladies and gentlemen. This is donaldbest.ca. Donald was a former law enforcement officer. He talks about Public Health Agency of Canada personnel were influenced in Ottawa police investigation and charge against Detective Grus. Ottawa Police Detective Helen Grus is charged under the Police Services Act with discreditable conduct for allegedly conducting unauthorized investigations into 9 sudden infant deaths where she sought to know the vaccine status of the mothers. It can now be revealed that the Public Health Agency of Canada personnel and persons associated with the Public Health Associate influenced and lobbied the Ottawa Police Services during the initial stages of Detective Grus' investigation and continued even after the officer had been charged. The evidence includes public news media sources, the Public Health Association documents, and secretly, but legally, recorded phone calls with a senior Public Health Associate manager and a Public Health Association published researcher. Now, what happened to these mothers is horrendous, and my heart goes out to them. But one of the things that Helen Grus was trying to get at was, in any investigation, it's a process of elimination. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you guys to share this out because this is out of my norm. It's out of my scope to do lives at this stage of the day. I usually like to do it when you're all sitting around the dinner table or hopefully, resting after a hard day's work. But here we are today because I think it fits in perfectly with this outcome in the judicial system because it's based on two things. Two things were afoot in this, and this is one thing I want to bring up to you guys, and I'm going to share this file. And I want to show you this because you're going to want to know exactly how this played out. And I'm just going to find the tab. Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to these two officers, Officer Savory and Officer McMullen. Now, they are going to play a key role in this. Officer Savory, look at the tactical vest. Look at the SWAT gear that he's wearing. And look at his girlfriend or wife. I'm pretty sure it's his girlfriend, though. Officer McMullen's also ties into this as well. Now, I want you guys to take a good hard look at who these people are. Now, Officer McMullen has a background with Ottawa Police Services, and this is public knowledge, okay? So for anybody out there who's wondering, this woman in the picture, because her name was tagged, found out that she's the same officer that testified at Helen Grus' trial, and according to the article that Donald Best draws up, she received a promotion right after getting someone unalived in a case where a domestic violence case was handled incorrectly, and Miss McMullen actually let the perpetrator go, and the lady was eventually unalived by the perpetrator. So in this is public knowledge, but now you have Officer McMullen testifying against Helen Grus as a colleague, and now you have her getting a promotion after she worked diligent to thwart any investigation into Helen Grus looking into this nightmare. Now we're focusing on Officer McMullen here right now because of her involvement in it, but it goes a lot deeper. You see, her boyfriend here, Officer Savory, who was part of the tactical team that kicked the shit out of people during the Emergencies Act. And I'm going to pinpoint some of the things in this here too. Officer Savory is one of the gentlemen of many law enforcement agencies who act unlawfully, followed unlawful orders, and did not hold up his oath to protect the charter and rights of the Canadian citizens. Now, moving forward from this, and for everybody to see it, the Ottawa Police Services intentionally misled the mother of this incident. Not only did they do that, into believing that Helen Grus accessed private medical information. But what brings you to want to bring this story out, Pat? Why? Well, we start to connect the dots in a lot of this. And one of the dots that I want to connect for you guys is this one right here. And this, it's going to bring some attention to why and who are involved in these key plays. Ottawa Police Board settles with family over officer who accessed dead child's vaccine records. The Ottawa Police Services Board has settled a case involving Detective Helen Grus, police officer who was accused of wrongfully accessing a deceased child's vaccination status. The board settled the case for the conduct of Constable Helen Grus, a detective who was accused of discreditable conduct under the Police Services Act for asking about the vaccination records related to 9 infant and child deaths. Grus, and this is all fictitious, allegedly, right, not proven, investigated the records without permission from police. The Ottawa Police Services Board, and it goes on to say, Grus allegedly contacted the deceased baby's father on January 30th, 2022 to ask about the mother's COVID-19 vaccine statuses, according to police documents. But there's a key player in this. Do you see this name? A one Lawrence Greenspan, tied to the case, was the family's lawyer. And he said the case was settled this week for an undisclosed amount. So Lawrence Greenspan is also included in this case because Lawrence Greenspan was also Tamara Litch's lawyer in the trial for Tamara Litch under the mischief. This becomes kind of a connect the dots, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing is, and I failed to put this one in my post, but I'm going to bring it up really quick here just to show you. I knew there was one article that I forgot, and it is of actual importance in this because I'm going to show you if I can get it sent to you guys in time. Just trying to go back. Not this one. I'm close to it though. Hang on. Anyways, so if I can find it, we got so much in my communications with all of this stuff. When I start looking back into my files, let me move this to here and this to here. And boom. All right, let's pull this up for you guys because I want you to see this, and I should have had that loaded. I apologize. It's been a hectic day with everything that's come out. I want to go to here. And once again, I want to bring up this one. Oops. Following months of training, including with Justin Trudeau, rookie boxer and Ottawa criminal defense lawyer Lawrence Greenspan emerged victorious Saturday at the same charity boxing event where the Liberal leader made his famous showing 2 years ago. Lawrence Greenspan was buddies with Justin Trudeau. Lawrence Greenspan's been buddies with many people. And a lot of things that people don't understand is the connection between law enforcement and lawyers within the city of Ottawa. Lawrence Greenspan is also responsible for obtaining a lawsuit against the federal government and awarding one Omar Khadr $10 million that his charter rights were violated. But then Lawrence Greenspan, when he's needed to quiet down and subdue good, hardworking officers who are about to unravel a nightmare, is involved with a case where the family could have had answers as to why their newborn child was unfortunately taken from us and from them. But Lawrence Greenspan continues to get himself into highly polarized cases where they need to slowly get rid of people and evidence. Following the settlement, media outlets weaponized Greenspan's work against Helen Grus, effectively pushing the narrative. In public comments reported by CTV News, Greenspan reinforced this narrative, stating, "Parents are not put on this earth to bury their children," is what he said. "When a tragedy happens, the family's privacy must be respected." He further thanked OPS for acknowledging the family's grief and recognizing the importance of the privacy. So in doing so, this is an article that was brought forth, I just showed you, from Ottawa. But doesn't it seem kind of comical how these lawyers and officers are all tied together? Now, the reason I bring up Officer McMullen and what happened to her is the mainstream media failed to disclose several key details in this. And the baby's grandmother actually worked for public health. And that's public knowledge. The mother herself is a lawyer. And these facts are explicitly stated and documented, yet largely ignored in all of this coverage. And this is in Donald Best's article that I showed you. Greenspan's political proximity is also notable. He has publicly stated that he trained with Justin Trudeau. The training included sparring with Trudeau once a week, continuously. But what I'm showing you, ladies and gentlemen, is how Officer McMullen, as you all saw when I show the picture of who she is, and I'll bring it back up again, worked against her fellow officer, her fellow member, in order to fight against a narrative that we were trying to prove, or that she was trying to prove, that we all know. But then it goes into a deeper spiral on who these two officers truly were. And I have it from good source, because I know McMullen is out there in the public, and her name was placed on this, so that's why I'm putting this. I know that she was part of it because I know the inner workings of the details, and I have from reliable sources within the OPS and outside groups that have been working hand in hand with law enforcement, because that's what we do, right? We all try and work with each other when we're doing things. But now I've got even more information being compiled, and on the eve and on the day of this increasingly amazing outcome in Ottawa, it's time to call these people out for what they did to us. Now, we'll take our attention off of Officer McMullen, and let's go to the attention of Officer Savory. And why are these two connected in all of this, and how does it connect to today's outcome? Well, we'll share this one with you, and I want you to watch it, and I hope you guys understand why this happened and why Officer Savory must be held accountable for his actions.
Trevizzi, thanks so much for coming on. So, good, thank you. So the video that we showed appears...
So I want to introduce you to, ladies and gentlemen, is, as you know, this is one of our protesters. His name is Csaba. Csaba was unfortunately beaten profusely by law enforcement officers. It was absolutely filmed on all angles, and Csaba deserves justice. Csaba and Helen Grus both deserve their justice. And Csaba, if you're watching this, my friend, this is for you to bring justice to what happened to you, to know that we have done some very good forensic investigation on this, and forensic auditors can be brought in to do some hard work on what's happening, to kind of bring some information and shed some light to how this possibly, allegedly, because we got to be careful how we say it, Officer Savory did this, or allegedly did this to Csaba. And just know that if Officer Savory is watching this, or Officer McMullen is watching this, we know the communications you've had with your friends, and they don't think you're a very nice person. So let's bring this up and let you guys watch this. Oh, which tab do I have on? There we go.
To have you surrendering peacefully to the police, and then the next we see you're being kneed in the ribs by Justin Trudeau's men. Did you fight them?
No, sir, not at all. I get down from my truck. I went down right on my knee. I put my hands behind my head, and I was waiting them to take me away. So in that moment, the police officer, they start to push me with those sticks. They said, they was yelling to me, "Go back, go back." And I just told them, "Hey, I'm the driver." Then suddenly somebody yelled,
"Look closely at the officer kneeling him. Look at the fatigue."
They dragged me in. They lie me down on my belly. I don't recall how many of them they was on top of me. They was squeezing the air slowly, slowly. I feel like I was beaten, but I took it like a man. So
good for you. At least At least someone's behaving like a man. You seem to be having trouble breathing. I could hear it through my earpiece. Were you injured by this?
Yes, they break my body a little bit, but not my spirit.
Not your spirit. Is this no? So you lived, if I got it right, under Ceausescu in Romania. Did you expect this kind of behavior in the formerly free nation of Canada?
No, sir, not at all. When I moved to Canada, everything was wonderful. People, they are talking with you on the street without knowing you, like asking you, hey, how are you? I never experienced stuff like that before. So I was like so happy. I said, geez, that's so nice. Everything was beautiful in Canada in the last 20 years. I can say that the last 2 years, it's like impossible to live here anymore.
Well, we hope you'll come to this country, which is, whatever its problems, freer than Canada. And we appreciate your coming on tonight. Csaba Vizzi, God bless you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want people to pay attention here. Watch really closely. Look at the fatigues. Look at the fatigues. Look what the officer is wearing. Look at the vest. Look at it all. We can have a forensic auditor look at all of this evidence. And I think, Csaba, you need to get into contact with us. And I've just been indicated.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so proud.
I've just been told. I can say beyond a reasonable doubt, my source is 100% reliable, and this is 100% Officer Savory beating Csaba profusely. So when I'm bringing this information out, I am in real time getting confirmation that this is 100%. The source confirms, reinforce it, 100%. Officer Savory is the officer involved during the illegitimate, unjustified, unruling, unreasonable Emergencies Act that saw Csaba being beaten horrendously on the streets in Ottawa. This is without a doubt Officer Savory.
An honor to have here today a special guest. His name is Csaba. He was a trucker who exemplified the spirit of Freedom Convoy 2022 there in Ottawa. He had a very recognizable truck, lit up with lights, expressed the jubilant feeling that was there when people congregated, where people could finally be themselves. So Csaba, first, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Good evening, everyone.
Now, Csaba's story is very special. I mean, I think it's special in a way that it exemplifies, like I said, what Freedom Convoy really was for people. It transformed people. It freed people from 2 years of being ridiculed and vilified for having a position that was different from the government, the mainstream media, their family and friends. And not only did it transform people, it brought people together in this meeting of, if you will, the meeting of the tribe. That's what Freedom Convoy really was there in Ottawa. And now your story is incredible. That's why we reached out to you. We wanted to talk to you. You know, you arrived there onto Wellington Street and ended up moving your truck towards the front of the line. You were arrested. Yeah, you were beaten.
Yes.
After being arrested. And yet there's still something inside you that there was a higher calling in all of this. You've been called a hero. We're going to get into all that, but.
So as you see, Csaba's standing there like this in his orange shirt, and he gets dragged from the line and gets dragged in the back. And I know it's quiet for you guys, but just turn your volumes up.
Can you first of all tell us, why did you go to Freedom Convoy in Ottawa, and where are you from?
Born in Romania, and I was 18 after I left my communist country. Then I lived 10 years in Hungary, and only in 2000 I came to Canada. And since that I'm living here.
Okay, and then you drove your truck from where?
From Windsor, Ontario to Ottawa.
Okay. Why did you go?
Well, being a male in the family, it's also being a protector of the family. You have to protect your family as a male. And with all these mandates, with all these things going around, I came to a point like I feel like I couldn't protect my family no more. So I have to buy sugar in the store. For your family, you was able to buy maybe eggs. Hey, I'm crying. But I wasn't like this before I left Ottawa. I had people came to my truck every day to ask me how I am. It was something which one I cannot describe to you. I never thought people, they can be like this,
You see the emotion on Csaba's face. You see the struggle that Csaba's been going throughout all this. You see, those are the true heroes to me. The ones that took the beatings, the ones that stood there and were peaceful. And I am doing this for Csaba. I'm doing this for Helen Grus. Although we can't prove exactly that it's Officer Savory, I am doing this intentionally to bring the attention to Officer Savory and Officer McMullen and let you know that we all know what you did to Canadian citizens, what you did to your fellow worker that you work with, your fellow detective that was trying to bring the truth to light. And I hope this weighs heavy on your conscience. You see, Jason Savory is a law officer. He's taken an oath, and that oath tells you to protect the Charter of Rights, and you failed. Instead, you beat a man who came from a communist country, standing in bread lines because he sees exactly what's happening in Canada and how we're all at the bread lines these days. Unfortunately, I bring this up on the precipice of today's outcome for one reason only, and that is, don't you ever forget, Canada, what they did to us. For all the people out there that are sitting here and telling us, hey, Pat, it was 4 years ago. Hey, Pat, who cares? It's water under the bridge. Hey, Pat, let it go. Well, I can't let it go. Csaba can't let it go. Millions of Canadians all around the world, all around Canada, cannot let it go. You see, we had one of the most iconic moments in Canadian history. We had one of the most respect-driven, honest, blue-collared movements in Canada that brought the best out of every Canadian citizen, only to be pummeled to the ground, trampled by horses, kicked in our ribs, jailed, put into detention in isolation, isolated from our families, threatened to be unalived, put into situations where we lost all of our funds, all of our money, all of our businesses, our family members turned on us. For what? For a gene-altering mRNA chemical in your body. This is what you did to Canadian citizens. I will never rest. I will never stop. And to Csaba, I'm bringing you the justice you so deserve. I hope your lawsuit now moves forward in record-breaking time. And I hope to everybody out there, after today's outcome in the courts, that you see that this system does not look kindly on Canadian citizens. In fact, when you buck the system, you get beaten, you get dragged down, you get attacked online, you get attacked by your own people, you get attacked by people within your own groups, you get attacked and railroaded and thrown under the bus by your own people that you trusted. And well, if we can't trust our own people, we definitely cannot trust the government. And I bring this up, ladies and gentlemen, on the precipice of today, and I'm not going to steal any more from this. I wanted this to get out there. There is a lot more to extrapolate, but I want people to understand that Detective Helen Grus has had her career tarnished. She has done an amazing job at trying to bring out the horrendous outcomes of mothers who have put these things in their bodies while they were pregnant. And not only that, I'll bring a link personally with Detective Grus and myself. You see, I had an opportunity to speak to Detective Grus one afternoon, and I wanted to commend her and tell her I was proud of her for stepping up and moving forward with this. And she said, "Thank you, Pat." But one of the conversations that really hit me hard was the fact that when she was allowed to come back to the force to continue on with her work, after 30 years of working in the field, I believe it was 30 years, Detective Helen Grus was assigned to a specific officer so that he can overwatch and watch what Helen was doing. And that officer is the same officer that charged me, a Detective Benson, Chris Benson. And Detective Chris Benson, if you're watching this, do you remember the conversation that you had with me after my 4-hour interrogation in OPS? When you held me for 4 hours and interrogated me like I was a common criminal, like I was some serial killer, because you openly stated that, hey, do you know who was in this room? The officer that was the serial killer. Do you remember that disgusting comment that you guys said to me? Well, Detective Benson, you are stopping an amazing, amazing detective from doing their job. And you hindered our ability to be able to protest peacefully in Canada. But you said one thing to me, Detective Benson, when you were moving me out of the interrogation room and into the lobby and down the elevator and back to my cold, dark cell. And you looked me dead square in the eye with your little mask below your nose because you didn't want to wear it either. And you said, "Pat, we're all sick of this too." Well, Detective Benson, if you're sick of this too, speak up for your fellow officer. Do your job. You shouldn't have followed through with charging me in my case. You knew it was wrong. Today, here we are with the outcome in today's verdict. Here we are. And what I told you in that interrogation room was exactly that. You are acting unlawfully. You see, now, Detective Benson, and to the Ottawa Police Services, you may have had me in custody. You may have put me into OCDC. You may have taken my life away from me for the last 3 years, 4 years. You may have done a fantastic job at keeping me silent. But you see, as you kept me in the court systems, we are now going to see each other in the court systems. And the only difference is, you will be the defendant this time. I will not be the defendant. Ottawa Police Services and all law enforcement officers in Ottawa who acted unlawfully, you're on notice. Let the lawsuits come. And let you remember a time in history that we as Canadians stood up for our rights, and understand that we as Canadians are not going to take it anymore. Ottawa is not just corrupted within the federal government. Ottawa is corrupted from within. My name is Patrick King. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the episode.
We used to run wide open, living life without fear. Now I really don't know how we ever got here, We let the little things pile up, we fence ourselves in. Sometimes you gotta tear it all down, start over again. Put the key in and drive, send your mind on down the road, past everything you know, turn your wheels and go just right. Put some blacktop in front of you, let those white lines run on you, heading for somewhere, leaving something behind just to ride. We could burn across the desert, see those Vegas lights, take a drive down Main Street. People do it all the time. People do it all the time. Cruise up to the mountains, get close to the stars. If you find yourself unhappy where you are, just get in your car and drive. Send your mind on down the road, past everything you know, turn your wheels and roll just to ride. Put some blacktop in front of you, let those white lines run under you, heading for somewhere, leaving something behind just to ride. It don't matter at all, just to ride. It don't matter at all, just to ride. It don't matter at all, just to